Hey, how's it going, my deadly mercenary family? Cosmic Mercenary bringing you a spooky versus video. Because it's the time for the spooks and the scares, and I think that it was a perfect time to bring in a new versus video. This time we're going to have Stephen King's telepath, Carrie, versus the internet serial killer, Jeff the Killer. This suggestion was brought to you by Matt H. Thank you, Matt, for commenting, and if you have any suggestions yourself, don't forget to comment down below and any suggestions that I would probably like to dive into and make a video. So why don't you do that? Other than that, guys, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like this video. And if you guys like what you see, I also do live streams at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every Sunday. Usually I play Super Smash Bros. But other than that, guys, let's continue this versus video. Carrie versus Jeff the Killer. Who will win in this terrifying fight? Let's find out. For some people, religion is a freeing subject. For others, they let religion consume their very being. This was the fact for Carrie's mother, ultimately setting the fate for Carrie in the future. At one point, Carrie's mother thought Carrie to be the spawn of Satan and almost got rid of her when she was in the womb. This ultimately set the fate for Carrie to be a social outcast, because at every moment of her life she was either in a religious act, praying, or being consumed by the religion that had consumed her mother, causing Carrie to be a social outcast, a nobody. It turns out there was something different about her daughter. Carrie had the ability of telekinesis. Not really showing her telekinetic powers at a young age, it wasn't until her senior year in which Carrie manifested the real power of telekinesis that was within herself. Ultimately, gaining the powers and harnessing her powers gave the courage to Carrie to be able to face the world, but not as a religious standpoint of fear, but with optimism. This path towards away from religion led her to the night that will set her fate forever, her prom night. Earlier in her life, not knowing some events that were to occur within her body herself, Carrie thought to herself that she was bleeding out, therefore manifesting outward as well her telekinetic powers. Being bullied by the other girls in her school, the girls devised a horrific prank in which they were trying to reenact the events that happened in the locker room to Carrie. Ultimately, Carrie was tricked into becoming prom queen, while all the hope and joy in the world that was given off by her bright future was taken away once blood started pouring onto her because of the sick pranks that the other girls devised. Therefore, causing Carrie to lose her humanity, she decided to decimate everyone inside the prom. That night, the whole town felt the fury of Carrie, ending with her dying while looking up at the stars. The only peace of mind it gave her were the stars up above. It's not easy being the new kids in town. This is especially true to Jeff and his little brother. As soon as their first day of school didn't even start, they started getting bullied by the other kids. However, they weren't your typical run-in-the-mill bullies. No, there was three in particular that decided to make Jeff and his little brother's life a living hell. Events were to occur ultimately that Jeff's little brother got arrested. This infuriated Jeff to the point where he started to be depressed, not talking to his family, and also being a social outcast. There's only so much that a teenager can do. Being forced by his family to go to a birthday party to a kid that he didn't even know. That birthday party would mark a turning point for Jeff. In this birthday party, the three kids that ultimately led to the arrest of Jeff's brother were there, and they were not done with Jeff. They decided to start where they left off and start picking on Jeff again. Of course, Jeff did not let this just idly go by. and a fight arose, ending with Jeff having vodka and bleach poured as he was set on fire by those kids. In the aftermath of this birthday celebration, Jeff's skin was bleached white and his eyes were sunken into. Not being able to handle the sight of his own face, he decided to carve a smile as if he were some comic book villain. Horrified, her mother witnessing all this occur in the bathroom, Jeff's answer was simple: just kill his entire family, ending with his little brother and telling him to go to sleep. Not being a super being, being more of a human, considering that he is basically just a human like you and I, Jeff does hold incredibly strength. He was able to stand his ground against 3 bullies. 3-1 are very favorable odds to Jeff. He's also able to use a knife. I wouldn't say that he's an expert in knife wielding, however, he does have a knife with him, and that could be used as an advantage for him in this versus battle. Carrie has an ability that is not human, that is in fact subhuman. She has telekinetic powers, and that's basically the base of her abilities. Therefore, she can move objects around, can control minds of individuals, can control individuals themselves. So this is a very strong ability that would really be favorable for Carrie in this versus battle. Ultimately, for the weakness, I will have to say that they are both human and they don't hold anything that would regenerate or give them that advantage of such as healing. So I would have to say anything that can kill you and me can kill Carrie and Jeff the Killer. So the outcome is very simple. After giving it much thought, in my personal opinion, the winner of this versus battle would be Stephen King's telepath, Carrie. I know most people that wanted to see the other outcome, that Jeff the Killer would overcome Carrie. I would have to say I'm sorry, but I, after thinking about it, in my personal opinion, I think Carrie has Jeff the Killer beat. But that's not necessarily not all the time. You see, when I make the versus videos, I take in consideration how is the possibility of the encounters of these individuals. So I came up with a couple, and here are the possibilities of the outcomes and how they would realistically interact if they were to meet. So the first outcome is at the prom. So basically Jeff would actually go to the prom, and he would be the new kid into Carrie's town and such like that, and perhaps the event unfolds to the point where Jeff is at the prom as well. But as far as we know, Carrie was able to complete her mission of getting rid of everybody inside the building, so therefore Jeff the Killer would be no different. The second situation that I would say is it would be in Jeff's favor. So this would favorably give Jeff the advantage, because he would be able to sneak into Carrie's house while she's sleeping and be able to murder her in her sleep, therefore not activating any telepathic powers, not being able to stop the knife, not being able to do all that as though where she was awake. So I would give this scenario that I have thought of in my mind to Jeff. The third situation, I would have to give it to Carrie, so it would be the same situation that we placed in the last one with Jeff. However, this time it would be in Carrie's favor because he will wake up. As we know, Jeff famously told his brother go to sleep when he was gonna kill him, and if he were to try to do those antics with Carrie, I feel like he would be bested by Carrie, because her telekinesis powers would just activate instantaneously, stop the knife, and maybe even stab it towards himself or towards Jeff the Killer. So I would have to give this situation to Carrie. And the last outcome, and I actually think this is my favorite outcome, is that they would team up, actually, with both of them being written as characters that have lost their innocence. I would have to say that it would not surprise me if they were to come in the same situations or come into an encounter that, realistically speaking, they have been both given a card worse than death. And so they would both team up and take into account and destroy the village, destroy the town. So ultimately, those are the scenarios that I have thought of in my head when it came to the scenarios. Ultimately, Carrie's a telepath, and I don't think any arsenal that no knife, no strength could stop that. The fact that Carrie's supernatural. Carrie is not of this world. Jeff the Killer is basically out of this world. But what do you guys think? Am I wrong? Do you guys have any scenarios in which Jeff the Killer would come out on top of Carrie? Let me know down in the comment section below. Also, if you have any other suggestions for versus video, and specifically some spooky versus video for Spooktober, let me know down below. I will gladly go through the list and we'll gladly take them into consideration doing the next versus video. Thank you, Matt H. Again, thank you very much for suggesting this. It was a lot of fun. Ultimately, I know you were going for Jeff the Killer, but I have to be realistic here, and I believe in my heart of hearts that Carrie would have the upper hand, specifically being able to take out like her entire prom at that prom night. So sorry for that your boy's outcome was not able to come out, but I did give you a scenario, so hopefully you like that scenario. But if you have any other suggestions, Matt, let me know down below. Other than that, guys, thank you guys for watching. I really like to make this video, so let me know about your suggestions. Don't forget also that I do live stream every Sunday morning, 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on my YouTube channel. It's usually Smash Bros or All Stars, so if you guys want to versus me, I suggest you take your Nintendo Switch and let's go. But other than that, guys, thank you guys for watching. Stay vigilant and see you guys next time.